this video, I'm going to show you how to create a small virtual assistant, a small chatbot using language models from Huggingface. Um, so before I get into that, I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of background on what this language model business is all about, and also kind of resources that you can take a look at to kind of further your knowledge on this area. So you hear a lot of talk about AI and Chat GPT, but what really are they? So basically, Chat GPT and all of this talk about transformers, what they are they're called language models, and all that we're talking about here is a model that has been trained on large amounts of raw text, okay, in a self-supervised fashion. But just to keep it very simple at a high level, these language models have just been trained on a lot of text from a lot of different inputs, okay? So out of the box, they kind of have this a broad knowledge of a lot of different subjects, okay? So the issue here that we want to actually address is, okay, yeah, so we have a transformer that can address, or excuse me, we have a language model that can address a wide variety of issues. But what if you have a or work in a domain that this requires this chatbot to be intelligent in a specific area? Okay. Uh, in order to do that, we have to do what's called fine tuning the language model. Okay. So first of all, we know that a language model is just this entity that's been trained on a large amount of text. Now, there's different types of language models that we can use. Okay, so the one that we're going to be using today is going to be the one for text generation. Okay, so there's language models that are good for like chatbots, but we're going to use this one for chat generation, and we're going to get into the reasons why. Okay, so for this base model, um, we're going to be using this Facebook, this general purpose language model. So this open pre-trained language model. So it's just a text generation language model that we're going to build upon, that we're going to fine tune. Okay. So let me just kind of get into what that even means. Okay. Uh, so in order to create I guess a chatbot that actually is intelligent in one particular domain. So take it from very general to intelligent in one like niche area. We have to do this thing called fine tuning. Okay, and why do you want to fine tune the model? All right. So fine tuning is a process we use to further train an already trained large language model on a smaller task specific labeled data set. In this way, we adjust some of the model parameters and optimize its performance in a particular task. All right, so why do you want to do that? So this is a good, resource I'll link in the comments below. But why do you want to do that? So number one reason is going to be like the enhanced accuracy. So by fine tuning a task on a specific, you use a data set for that. We're going to get into that. But fine tuning a language model, the language model can grasp the nuances of a particular domain. This is especially vital in areas with specialized jargon, like in the medical field, financial reports, or legal documents. Okay. So, kind of moving on. The way to actually fine tune a model is, especially a model that is based on meta. There's a special type of instruction that you have to pass to it, which I had to learn this weekend, and it basically kind of follows this structure. Okay, we need to kind of create these two templates. Okay, and a template is going to be it's almost like a cookie cutter. Okay, so it basically says we want to train this model in such a way that when someone puts in, this type of information, it's going to get out an output. So it's like a function. But so in order to do that, there's a special kind of syntax that's required. Okay, and it requires that we, include, a special series of hash marks and like a token. So I'll link in how this works and whatnot. But the most important thing to know is that for Meta, we have to create these templates that define how we want this language model to be trained. So this is basically like the most critical part of the whole process. And so let me show you how you can use ChatGPT to do something like that. So I reached out to one of my doctor friends this weekend, and I was like, hey, wouldn't it be a good idea just for like a demonstration purposes to have a language model that, kind of get up here, basically have a language model that indicated some pairings between, okay, so maybe like an illness, common illness, and maybe a remedy. Okay, so we just have this language model that's been trained specifically on, okay, given a specific illness, what would be like a remedy? So like, in the house, medication, not medications, but in the house remedies that you can use to, just to kind of take the edge off or whatnot. And so that's kind of how I train this language model. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. So I kind of have Chat GPT to do a lot of the heavy lifting, which I recommend that you do. So you see here, I got a listing of like illnesses and like remedies and whatnot. And what you want to do here is, I'm kind of fast forward a little bit. Okay, sorry. So to my point about using this template. Okay, so we can basically just have, first of all, Chat GPT to take that whole, like that same table that I just showed you. We can have Chat GPT to put it in different types of formats and whatnot. Okay, but the most important thing is that we can have Chat GPT to basically do a lot of the processing of that format for us. So I asked ChatGPT, hey, create another column, called text. So that's just the column name, which follows the following structure. So I just want to be able to train this model on a particular question. So for this illness, arthritis, give me a remedy. Okay, and the remedy is like warm compress and gentle exercises or turmeric supplements. So it's just it's almost like ironing. I just like to think of like you have a set of jeans that's all wrinkled and whatnot. Then you want to iron it out. So yeah, you put that iron over it, and that's what this is doing. So it's just kind of iron. It's just kind of mashing or embedding you know these these templates inside of that language model. Okay, so that's basically what we're doing here. All right, and so in order to train a language model, you have to have like a graphical processing chip, so a GPU. And I learned over the weekend that actually Google has a free GPU that you could use via Colab, which I think is just incredible. So I would recommend that you use that. So this article right here, tells you how to actually do this, and I'll link these below. Um, so I made this language. So I went through this process of generating this data set. So this entire workbook is driven by this data set. So basically creating the data set and formatting it correctly, that's really the main thing that we need to do to create a model. So once you have this, then you're ready to use and then you're ready to apply it, uh, and create a fine-tuned language model. Okay, so that's what I did. I'll put the links below. And it's Alchemista. So I have a couple models here. I'm still kind of a little new to this, but um, once you get done with this entire process here at Colab, you'll get a language model, uh, all the files needed for your model, like in here. So I just did this yesterday. Yeah, so it's 21 hours ago. All right, so you get all this, okay, and and once you have all that, and then you're able to. So I mean, there's an entire course on Hugging Face that I can I'll tell you. I can get you a link to, but here you can serve these language models through as an API. Okay, so that's just a service that's listening on a particular endpoint. So you basically pass it information and it gives you a response back. So that's what I'm talking about here. So right here, this is like React or whatnot, and just for convenience, I am kind of showing you kind of like two things. So this is gonna end up being like the front end of the application, and this is the back end. This inference um, py. So whenever you actually invoke a language model, that's called the inference. So that's basically you in front of Chat GPT asking it a question, and whenever it returns a response, okay, that's the inference. Okay, so it tells you what your prompt means. It gives you back their response. So after I've trained that model here, this is all you have to do is pass your model name to what's known as a pipeline in Hugging Face. And again, Hugging Face is really awesome because they just have like this free course that tells you exactly how to do this. But the whole point about this is, okay, this model is now going to be served. Okay, it's now going to be served, and it's now going to be able to, give me that information related to, hey, if I have this illness, what's the remedy? Okay, so that's what this is doing. Okay, and so I'm serving it through, this EC2 in the in AWS, and so I call it infra. So this is the same one I just showed you here. This code right here is going to be running right here. Okay, and so I just put together a small little UI, a small little user interface. Okay, that's going to help us to kind of see how this works. So this is how it's going to work. So for this, let me just go ahead and just get this little, just kind of test it out. So we're basically going to pass this user interface like the same type of a model of question that we asked it. So for this illness common cold, give me a remedy. So for this illness common cold, give me a remedy. So the remedy is honey and ginger tea. Okay. Um, so again, so this is just a language model. It's not going to give us back the exact same thing, but what it's done is it's trained just to give us back an answer. Okay, and this needs to be trained a lot more, but it's really kind of showing you how you actually train it just to give it back a response that you want, and that's what it's really about. It's about giving you back a response that you're looking for in a format that you're looking for. That's like the main thing here that we're talking about. And so you can also, there's other techniques to get the accuracy much better, but tuning a language model is also about getting a response back in a format that you're looking for. So for this illness, allergies, give me a remedy. Okay, so honey and ginger. Okay, let me see here. Let me just kind of show you the actual requests coming in on the back end. I actually like. Let me take that off. All right, so one more time here. Oh, and also, so I have the print statements also in the back end. So for this illness, common cold, give me a remedy, honey and ginger tea. So let me just try one over here. Uh, for this instant, I don't know. Let's try this one. So for this illness, for psoriasis, give me a remedy. Okay, it's just saying aloe vera. But you get the idea. Okay, um, it's giving us back a a formatted answer. Okay, and so yeah, I'm going to be using this in a larger kind of template or in a larger project. But I guess the main things here to kind of take away is that when you're creating a language model, it's based off a language model that's has that's created by Facebook at least. It's all about creating the data set and formatting it in a way that you can easily fine tune an existing model. So you're basically standing on the shoulder of giants. So you're just leveraging something that's already been built, and you just something that's been built for general purpose, and you scope it down to be used for a particular area, and you can also make it have um, a format that you want as well. So that's just a small demo, kind of what's going on here. So if you have any comments, please let me know. Let me know if this was helpful, and I definitely look forward to making more content in the future. Thank you and have a good day.